That's tcpride.org. Twin Cities Pride looks forward to seeing you there this Saturday and Sunday at Loring Park.
Minnesota summers are the best. We get outdoors and enjoy the sun and fire up the barbecues. This is Chad, owner of AM 950, to tell you about the exterior construction company that I trust, Snap Construction. As great as Minnesota summers are, they also bring extreme weather, storms, and hail. Late last summer, we were hit with a string of severe weather, including hailstorms. Those storms damaged roofs across the metro. Most storm damage goes missed by the untrained eye. A lot of homeowners didn't get their roofs inspected for damage and could potentially be facing much larger issues down the road. Please take my advice and call the roofing specialist I trust, Snap Construction, to schedule a free roofing inspection. If your roof was damaged, they will work with you and your insurance company to fix it quickly and efficiently. Call Snap Construction today at 612-333-SNAP. That's 612-333-SNAP, or visit snapconstruction.com.
And we are broadcasting live from Twin Cities Pride and Loring Park. This is AM 950 KTNF, the progressive voice of Minnesota. My name is JP Derabagosian. This is the Gaily Show, and this queer book saved my life for the next hour. We have an amazing show for you here today. We're going to have guest Mia Lucky, the showrunner of the new series Transplant, the author Patrick Nathan, author of The Future Was Colors here, and we are also going to have a previous guest from This Queer Book Saved My Life, Paul Kafer. Right now, I have my executive producer here with me, Jim Pounds. Hello, Jim.
Hi, JP. How are you?
How do you think it's going here today so far? It's a really great turnout, excellent weather, a little breezy.
Saturday's the best day because it's not, you can move through the aisles.
You can move through the aisles. Right. So some things that are happening today for folks who are thinking about coming down to the park. We've got Jeff Gavin will be at the Power to the People stage at 4:45 p.m. I got to interview Jeff a few weeks ago when his album came out, Magic. And if you haven't seen Jeff perform, you will understand why his album is called Magic. That starts at 4:45 p.m. I do want to ask, though, because we're going to queer the vote this year. It's really important to do that. And we've got folks registering people to vote. So, Jim, where can folks go to get registered to vote if they haven't yet?
There are 4 places you can go here at Pride. Gender Justice at booth 313 is one place. Human Resource Campaign booth 111. Outfront Minnesota booth, of course, 308. And Fair Vote Minnesota booth 57. So you have no excuses. You will run into one of these booths. Please go in and register to vote.
Very important election. I know we're a culture and entertainment show, but we thought it'd be great to mention the folks that are registering people to vote, because this is going to be a really big election this year. And also because, stay tuned, our shows are going to be partnering with the National LGBTQ Task Force. So we will be doing a lot more Queer the Vote programming coming up starting now through the actual election in November. Other things that are happening here today at 3 p.m. All of the hosts of the queer shows here on AM 950 KTNF will be on the Loring stage, which is just across right over there from our tents. And we will, so Twin Cities Pride Amplified will be hosting. That's Andy Otto and Rena Heisel. They are the hosts of that show. And also Andy is the executive director of Twin Cities Pride. And then joining me on the stage will also be Philip Anthony from the Downright Upright show. BJ Armani's Cabaret is going to be on the Stonewall show, or Stonewall stage rather, at 4 p.m. And I don't know, I just think that it's a really great start to Pride so far, right, Jim?
I think it's the sun is coming in and out, so don't be dissuaded just because it's a little cloudy.
And if you like what you're hearing and want to see us making radio live, you can come down to the AM 950 tents. We have a great audience here in front of us right now. There are plenty of chairs for folks to come on and sit down as well. We have some of our shows are going to be doing audience participation. We've got some really lovely guests that we're going to get to here in a few minutes. I am wondering, what is a food thing, Jim, that you really want to have today?
I've already scoped out the cheese curds, so everybody get behind me.
The cheese curds are a favorite. We're going to be talking about Quatrefoil Library as well. Paul Kafer, who was on the board of Quatrefoil Library, will be our guest later in the show. talking about not only quatrefoil, but his time on this queer book saved my life. So we're looking forward to having him here as well. I What else do we have going on here on the Rainbow Stage? Barbara Bao, Lexi, Modica, and Hildy are going to be performing starting at 4 p.m. on the Rainbow Stage. There is so much entertainment that we've got going on here this afternoon at Twin Cities Pride. And if you don't want to brave the crowds for the parade, which is tomorrow, we are going to be live streaming the Twin Cities Pride Parade, which starts at 11 a.m. So you can tune in here to AM 950 on am950radio.com. And you can also watch it, right, as well. That will be on the MCN 6, I believe. Minnesota Community Network 6 will be live streaming it, so you can watch the parade as well. So
I think it would be really surreal to just listen to the gay pride.
I know, right?
And listen to somebody trying to describe it and somehow give you an experience just orally. You know what I mean?
I know.
That's
right.
I can't quite picture.
Well, keep it tuned right here. Our next guest is going to be Mia Lucky, the showrunner of Transplant. Be back after the break. Planned Parenthood, we're experts in all things sexual and reproductive health and believe everyone deserves access to high-quality health care. No matter who you are or the services you need, we're here to provide a compassionate, non-judgmental space for you to get the care you deserve. We offer a wide range of services, including birth control, STI testing and treatment, wellness exams, transgender hormone therapy, PEP, PrEP, emergency contraception, screening and treatment for anxiety and depression, and more. With or without insurance, we're here for you. Many of our services are available by telehealth, or you can visit one of our 7 convenient Twin Cities metro locations. Learn more about Planned Parenthood's healthcare, educational programming, and advocacy work at Twin Cities Pride. We love empowering everyone to take control of their bodies and futures, and we're excited to be able to have conversations with folks on how we can help you on your path to better health. Swing by and say hi at Twin Cities Pride. Look for the pink tent. Welcome back to ATNF, the progressive voice of Minnesota, broadcasting to you live from Loring Park. We are near the Roundout drop-off, so you can join us, listen live in the tent, watch us make radio magic. And speaking of magic, I am very happy to welcome our first guest here, Mia Lucky. Mia is the showrunner and creator of a new web series, Transplant. Their premiere just happened at the Parkway Theater, and Mia, I saw you were serving Red Carpet Goddess, magazine cover, fashion best dressed. Tell us about the premiere and Transplant.
Thank you so much. Yeah, we had our premiere on June 11th at the Parkway Theater. We just had all of our friends and family come out. It was about 300 people. We were all dressed in like our best like red carpet looks, and we had a photographer, and the bar was open, and it was just a really fun like kind of Hollywood moment in South Minneapolis.
Absolutely. And tell us about the story of Transplant.
Yeah, so it's kind of the story of like a fish out of water, essentially. A small town boy from the country moves to the city because his dad kicks him out because he's a little too queer. And he moves in with his high school best friend, Lucky, who is this vivacious young trans woman who's just chaotic and messy and fun. And she introduces him to all of these other characters around Minneapolis. They get into a bunch of trouble together, fall in and out of love, and it's just a fun kind of a trans sitcom vibe.
I love that. So Transplant got started as an idea of creating a trans Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Yeah.
So talk to me about trans representation, like what you want to see and how Transplant is contributing to that.
Yeah, I think there's just not really enough trans representation that's like lighthearted and fun in the world right now. A lot of it kind of focuses on all the horrible things we have to endure, which like are very real. But so much more of being trans, in my experience anyway, is one of joy and fun and playfulness and just like victoriousness. So hopefully Transplant can show trans people in a more like realistic way of like our lives are not so different. They're not just like these trauma documentaries. They're pretty fun. It's a good time. I can't recommend being trans enough.
And you filmed the pilot in 3 days?
Yeah, that was insane.
Did you sleep?
A little bit, yeah. I don't know why we did that. I think we were just, well, I don't know. I know why we did it. We were just under a big time crunch, and we're really ambitious, and we were having a lot of fun. So we all took a couple vacation days from work, and just filmed like 12-hour days, 3 in a row. It was nuts, but it was a really fun sort of organizational challenge, and we pulled it off. The pilot is done, and we made our deadline. So
Yes, you did.
we don't want to do that in the future, though. That was too much. It was intense.
It gave me the anxiety sweats
Yeah.
just hearing about it. For folks who are just tuning in, you are listening to AM 950 KTNF, the progressive voice of Minnesota. This is The Gaily Show. I am your host, JP Debragosian. I am speaking with Mia Lucky, the showrunner and creator of Transplant, a new web series that you can watch on youtube.com/@watchtransplant. Mia, friend of the show, of The Gaily Show, Molly Ritchie,
Yeah.
provided training and coaching in improv for the actors. So why was improv something that you wanted to train the actors in and get them good at?
Oh yeah, that's just like such an important part of acting, especially like comedy acting. I think is just sort of having that sort of like improv feel of how to make jokes and your body language and how to like if somebody makes a joke that you really like, how to like run with it and carry it further and further. So it seemed like a really important skill, especially because our inspirations were like Curb Your Enthusiasm or Broad City or High Maintenance, all of these shows that are really good at like finding sort of like a funny spark together and then just following it as far as it goes. So improv seemed like a really important thing, and hopefully as we go further with the show, we can get much more loose with it. And so like we can sort of write the beginning and the end of a scene and then let the actors just play with the space in the middle. So that's the long-term goal for sure.
Absolutely. So like right now, so when you were doing it, how did you just kind of say these are the beats of the scene, and we need you to hit those? Did you have like lines and then like allow for riffing like afterwards and different takes? Like how did that work for you?
Yeah, with the pilot, we did a lot of rehearsals. So we would we would say, here's the beginning and the end of the scene. Now you just kind of get there somehow. It doesn't matter what you do in the middle. So that was what we did for rehearsals. But then the writing was very much more like precise just for the pilot anyway. I think we needed something sort of as like a baseline to start and make sure we got like our characters' voices across and the central storyline. But going forward, it's going to be really fun to get messy and chaotic with it, because that's definitely the spirit of the show. And yeah.
Well, you have such really amazing characters that I'm really looking forward to what they're going to bring and develop onto the show. And you also had puppies.
Yeah.
And I was not
Had to.
expecting to see puppies in the premiere episode. And I love that you're including kink positive storylines.
Yeah.
So when you were writing these storylines, how did you want to approach them when you were including them?
Yeah, we were thinking of like what are the sort of classic trans archetypes in Minneapolis, and people interested in kink is absolutely a core part of this city. So we have a puppy girl in the show, and she just like she has her tail and ears on, and she runs around, and it's just a really fun sort of lighthearted way of being like, kink is approachable and nice and sweet.
And something that
It can be anyway.
yeah, I
Doesn't
wish
have
that we
to be.
saw more of that
Yeah.
represented. So are other like how do you see that playing out in the upcoming episodes?
Yeah, that character, the puppy girl Lucky, we definitely see her as starting as very lighthearted and just sort of being like herself everywhere. And then hopefully we're gonna put her through some challenges, and she's gonna realize that maybe transness isn't all upbeat and positive. There are some hard spots too. But after that, then she will come back around and realize that even in the face of those dark times, you can still be really fun and playful and be optimistic about being trans.
Absolutely. Well, I am speaking with the Mia Lucky, who is the showrunner creator of the new web series Transplant. You can follow Transplant on Instagram at Watch Transplant. So we have the premiere
Mhm.
out now. I can't wait. When are the next episodes coming?
Yeah, well, we're writing the rest of the first season now. I've already written like what I want the next episodes to be, but I think it's much better if a lot of people have a hand in writing it. So we're just sort of opening the doors to all the trans people in our community who might want to have a say in the show, and we're going to write the rest of the first season together, and it should be a good time. I think I would love to do 3 seasons total if we
Wow.
could, which is a lot, but we're only going to do like 5 to 10 episodes per season. So we're writing season 1 right now, and then we'll see about season 2 and 3 after that. But the next episode, I hope that you can expect it by like September probably. It might take a little while. We all have full-time jobs as well. It's kind of tough.
So you all need to be following Mia and the show on Instagram. It also gave me some sort of vibes. You know, the show sort
yeah,
of from
I
like
love
I
Sort
definitely
of.
was picking up those.
Oh, thank you. That's so cool. Yeah, I loved that one. That was so special. It's really cool to see like mainstream TV networks start to show like trans people, just like doing their thing.
Yes.
It's great.
Yes, absolutely. So, is your background in television? In
No,
film?
not at all. I'm just like some girl who decided to make videos.
What?
Yeah, I just like, I write. I'm a copywriter in the daytime, and then I don't know. I just like, I've always wanted to make videos, so I decided I may as well just start. Like, I don't really want to. I don't know. It felt like a big waste of time to try to like go to school for it, or like, make sure I would do it perfectly before starting. Like, I feel like there's so many reasons not to do creative projects, so I figured may as well just do it
That's so
and
punk.
figure it out. Yeah,
I love that.
yeah.
So
Figure It
what-
Out is also the title of the theme song, Trans Band, which was like written for us by a trans band named Snake World. So that was pretty fun.
And the entire production are all trans and queer,
Yeah,
both behind the camera and in front of the camera, right?
correct. Yeah, so everyone who wrote the show, acted in the show, directed, produced, edited, color corrected, wrote the music for it, did like any task related to the show was done by trans people entirely, which is pretty cool.
What was the thing that was the most stressful in terms of learning as you were going?
Probably like blocking. So like
Oh.
how to set up the camera in a way
Yeah.
that made sense, then have the characters move through the space in a way that you could like have continuity when editing. That was something that's really, really hard to do because we have 6 main characters, which is a lot. So as you have them move around sets, you really need to make sure they do it the same way every single time. That's pretty hard. So there's a lot of things like that we're just doing this for our first time, and it definitely shows. But I think there's also kind of a charm in that of like the thing that you're watching is so clearly like friends having fun together, and I think that's really charming. So hopefully people pick up on that.
I would not have known if you didn't tell me right now.
Oh,
This was
wow,
your first
that's
project.
cool.
So yeah.
We've never done. Everyone involved has done like tangentially related things. So like our sound girl has done like live audio production for concerts, but she's never like recorded for a TV show, or like I have like made YouTube videos for fun, but they're like gaming YouTube videos. They're not like, holding a camera and directing people around and stuff like that. Or our writers, like we have a stand-up writer on the team, but like she's never written for a TV show. So it's kind of all these people taking like their similar experience and then just pushing it together into a web series. And it's pretty fun to be figuring it out together.
Oh, I love that. It's very punk, very DIY,
Yeah.
very
exactly.
community based.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a really good time. And then everyone involved in it ends up feeling a lot more just like safe and welcome because they know that we're all like at the beginning of our careers and figuring it out together. So it's just much more approachable. It's like it really has that like friends doing something for fun vibe, which I really like. Oh, do you know the show Caleb Gallo? The Gay and Wondrous Life of Caleb Gallo?
Oh yeah.
So good. So that's definitely another inspiration for us, is that we have like this wonderful 5-episode queer rom-com web series on YouTube that we all have watched and loved. And that definitely has that same vibe of friends figuring it out together. So yeah.
Well, no, what I love about pilots is you can start to see all the little seeds of all the little things and the characters and the storylines that are going to be coming. So I want you to come on, like we got to get some more funding for you so you can start filming it.
That would
next
be
week.
amazing. Yes, please. Yeah, we have a Patreon, patreon.com/watchtransplant. We're writing the rest of the season right now. The first episode's out if you want to see what we've done so far. And yeah, and you can.
Well, I really recommend to folks, if you want to watch the premiere episode, you go to youtube.com/@watchtransplant. Go to Instagram @watchtransplant there as well to follow them and to get all of the updates. And if folks want to follow you personally, it's @MiaLucky.
Yep, Mia Lucky 999. We also have a website too. That's kind of where everything is gathered, so that's a lot easier. It's just watchtransplant.com and everything's there. And then you can see like pictures of the characters and our about page, and yeah.
Great. And again, we want to tell folks patreon.com/watchtransplant. Any amount of gifts
Yeah.
helps support, which is
Love
really
it.
important because this is a locally based production,
Mhm.
trans, queer led, created production, which is very important to see that. This is also your first Pride, right? In the Twin Cities?
This is my second Pride.
Second
Last year I
Pride.
went to People's Pride.
Right.
But yeah, This is my first
But
time.
the
being
one
at
like
the
here in
Loring
Loring,
Park. Yeah,
first one.
yeah, it's huge. It's
I
awesome.
know, right?
So fun. Yeah.
All right. Well, my next guest is going to be Patrick Nathan. Stay tuned. We'll see you right after this break. If you go to shoprainbowrd.com, you will find an amazing variety of adult novelties. Literally thousands of items that you can peruse in the privacy of your home and have shipped to your door. Plus, in the store, you can find swimwear, casual wear, underwear, everywhere. Rainbow Road is located at 109 West Grand Street near Loring Park. Gift cards are available for the hard to shop for. Go to shoprainbowrd.com.
Tom Hartman here to tell you about St. Paul-based All Energy Solar. They've been providing solar energy solutions to customers since 2009. All Energy Solar's professionals will help you through the entire process, from a free site assessment to a custom design that works for your property. Now is the time to go solar. Make a powerful investment by switching to solar energy by visiting allenergysolar.com for your solar quote. That's allenergysolar.com.
And we are continuing on our live broadcast of The Gaily Show and this queer book, Saved My Life, from Loring Park. You are listening to AM 950 KTNF, the progressive voice of Minnesota. Every Saturday afternoon, we have all of your LGBTQ cultural and entertainment and political and community-based entertainment. We are broadcasting all of those shows live from today. If you are listening at home and you want to get to Loring Park, we're all going to be on the Loring stage at 3 p.m. And I'm so excited about our next guest. I'm going to hand him a pen right now, and I'm going to hand him a copy of his novel, The Future Was Color by Patrick Nathan. I absolutely loved this novel. I'm going to totally fanboy. I apologize, Patrick. He is joining me now. I'm asking him to sign my copy of his novel live here in person in the tent. No pressure.
No pressure.
But
It's a Pilot G2 pen, by the way, which is my favorite. So thank you.
oh, wow. Well, there we go. I didn't know that, but hey, great minds think alike,
Yeah.
right? Patrick, congratulations on your novel. For folks who don't know, The Future Was Color is the Los Angeles Review of Books Book of the Summer, and you were also just profiled in the LA Times. This is
Yes.
going to be a really heady experience for you.
It's kind of insane. Yeah. I mean, to see my editor sent me the digital edition of the LA Times, and there's my face not wearing a shirt, like huge in the newspaper. So yeah, that is now documented and will be available in libraries until the whole empire collapses. So yeah.
Well, congratulations. I love those, is it classic Hollywood? I'll say classic Hollywood-based novels. I'm a big fan of those. And this novel started at a diner here in Minneapolis, The Bad Waitress. You
Rest
were
in
looking at
peace.
old sci-fi movie posters. Tell me more.
Yes. So The Bad Waitress on 26th and Nicollet, which I used to go to all the time, had all those science fiction movies all over the walls, the posters. It was, science fiction before Kubrick, before Star Trek. And I noticed one day that beneath the poster for The Earth versus the Spider, a 1958 film, the screenwriter was Laszlo Gorek, which I knew was a Hungarian name. And I knew exactly why a Hungarian would be in Hollywood writing these movies in the 50s. And it gave me kind of that it was just enough of a glimpse into someone's life where they have been totally removed from everything that is their life and thrown into this for what is for them a foreign planet. And really, I didn't really realize it while I was writing it, but he is basically the alien visiting the other planet.
Oh my God, he is.
Yeah. Isn't that amazing how your brain is like doing whatever while you don't even think you're not even aware of it?
Oh my God.
Yeah. We're learning things about fiction on the air.
Well, I did want to ask you about monsters. So you've got the monsters that George is writing, and then you've got kind of some real life monsters going on. So how did you approach that idea of the monster in your novel?
Yeah, I mean, I think the monster in the novel is it's really hard to talk about this novel without spoilers. The monster in this novel is basically someone very close to him, and I think when you have somebody who is, you know, a monster, they're somebody who's not getting something that they need, but they're very good at getting it in a very destructive way.
Mm.
And I think you have somebody in this novel who's able to manipulate everybody around them, and yeah, I think that's very much where that comes from. And it was a really fun way to kind of play with how science fiction is an overlay of, you know,
Mhm.
reality essentially.
Yeah.
And of course, you know, then throw in all the gay stuff too.
What I loved is for folks who have read the novel and fellow travelers and seen the miniseries, you get this really interesting look of queer life in DC and going through the Lavender Scare. And I loved in your novel, Patrick, all of the different representations of gay life that was happening both within Los Angeles and within New York. So as you were thinking through, and I know you've told me that this novel kind of just fell out of you, like
Yeah.
it just sort of like once you had the like the plot or the premise, you just it came right.
Yeah, and it was very much like, you know, as soon as I found the right voice for it, the whole thing just came out, which was a wonderful experience because it wasn't very hard. But yeah, as far as the different aspects of gay life, though, as I was writing it, I kind of realized how much of queer representation is really tied up with class.
Mm-hmm.
You have the actress's husband who is a, you know, gay but closeted, but really can afford to be sloppy and make mistakes. You have Jacques, who's basically a twink and has no real job and can afford to be sloppy because nobody cares.
Yeah.
But then you have these two men who have you know, a studio job. They're strictly middle class. I think the book says, you know, they're men with lawyers, men with references. You know, men who sue for libel. Those are the two who have to be extremely careful because they have the most to lose.
Yeah, they do.
And it was very much kind of thinking about who gets to express themselves is very much tied up with what your class is.
Yeah. If you're just tuning in, this is the Gaily Show. My guest is Patrick Nathan, whose new novel, The Future Was Color, just dropped for Pride Month in June. We are broadcasting from Loring Park at Pride. You can stop by and see us live here if you haven't been down to the tent. Patrick, what surprised you? You said it just like happened, the novel. I mean, it just happened, like just you found the voice and it came up. But what surprised you in writing this novel?
What surprised me in writing this novel? I think how much fun I would have writing parties. There's at least 3 good parties in the book, and being able to just go totally off the rails and just put all these really horrible people into one room together and have them just do and say whatever came to mind. And it was a really great way to exercise a lot of things that have been it's kind of like, you know, you carry around like scraps with you, and it was a way to like break out the notebook and be like, okay, every single weird thing I've ever thought, let's put it right here in this party.
Yeah.
And it was a good time.
The last party was pretty epic.
Yeah, there's a party in Vegas that takes place in a penthouse, and I can't, you know, divulge any information.
No spoilers,
No.
because it is a gem of a novel. For folks who haven't read it, it follows George, who is writing monster movies and has a actress friend who offers him a residency.
Yeah,
as far as we can go, right, in terms of plot.
She kind of does a little bit of a Norma Desmond, where, you know, he comes over and then she's like, oh, by the way, I brought your typewriter and your books, and you can hang out here and write if you want to. Because really what happens is the 1956 revolution in Budapest kind of makes him think that he should be writing something else. He should be doing something more serious. And in her efforts to give him that space, what she's really doing is like, oh, I have a writer in my house now. Aren't I interesting? Her whole thing is she wants to collect people. And there's a character in the book who says, you know, every time anybody ever uses the phrase pulling the strings, I thought of her, you know. She, you know, she's that's another thing that actually surprised me about writing this is I did not really plan for her to take over so much of the novel.
Oh, really?
She was not. I mean, she's essentially the antagonist in a lot of ways, and I did not plan for that at all. She just kind of had so much gravity and so much magnetism and charisma that she just sucked more and more of the book into her orbit.
I appreciate the George, the main character, is Hungarian, And I just have to say, as an Armenian American who has to constantly watch what's happening, in the motherland, you captured that so well. That like the stress of being someone who is and having, I mean. Well, gosh, this is hard not giving away like plot points, but you just
the book is
captured
that good, yeah. It's got so many things going on that we can't even talk about it.
I know, right? Which makes for a fun interview. But the diaspora is where I'm going with that. You've really captured really well what it's like to live in a diaspora and then have to watch from abroad your country be, in turmoil with in this instance, a revolution, and then, an occupying force who's going to, maybe or may not come in with, tanks. So did you do research around that, or like how did you capture that so well?
I don't know how I captured the the feeling of the diaspora aspect. I think it's kind of one of those things where like you just do what makes sense, in a lot of ways. The research that I did surrounding the Budapest Revolution.
Oh, his mic went. I think his mic just went. We're gonna.
Let's try. Oh, there we go. I'm back. I read a book called I don't know, 12 Days or something like that by Victor Sebastian. I totally don't remember the name, but it's out of print. I had to get it from the library, and that was one of those things where I just needed to know, okay, what actually happened and when it happened and who was responsible, who got killed for it, those things. That was kind of the bulk of the political research I did. And then I also read a book called The Lavender Scare by Kevin Johnson, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of helped color a little bit of the sneakiness of the cops in kind of the way that they would bait gay men back in those times. But the rest of it, I mean, the research process is that I just kind of made it up. And then if it felt right, I left it in. And sometimes I checked things. And even if they were wrong, I left them in. The book is historical fiction, but it's not history. It's got some leaps of the imagination in there.
Well, it feels very true and accurate. So that's a testament to your skill as a writer, because all of it felt you were bringing out truths that I feel were very important of that time. Patrick Nathan, you can follow him on Instagram at Patrick_Nathan. He's also not above posting some thirst traps, I see.
Patrick__ Nathan.
Oh,
there's 2 underscores.
That's unnecessarily confusing.
I know. It's that's just how it works. But yes, I do post the occasional thirst trap if that's what it takes. We got to sell books in whatever way we can.
Well, yes, absolutely. And events. Do you have any events coming up?
Well, I am currently in Loring Park doing an interview. And after that, I'm doing an event with Jose Santiago Sanchez, whose new novel, Hombrecito, came out on the 25th. And they're going to be at Moon Palace, and I'm going to be there in conversation July 16th at 6:30, I believe.
All right.
That is basically what's in the pipeline. I have something going on in September, but who even knows if the planet's going to be around that long at this point. But
don't get me started.
Yeah, I'm going to try not to go there, but I guess I did, and I went there.
No. Okay. And then you were also the manager, right? Or at Subtext Books?
Yes, I am the store manager at Subtext Books in St. Paul, which is a really great place to buy the book because it keeps the store that I work at in business.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
And if they go there, they can probably get it signed.
You can get it signed if you show up at the store and buy the book from the store where I work, and I am working at the store.
All right. And of course, I have to know, what's your next project?
Oh, I have a few. I think right now, as of today, at this moment, I kind of want to incubate a new nonfiction project. So my previous book, Image Control, was all about how social media basically opened the door to American fascism to be mainstream, which is another fun topic for another fun day. But yeah, I'm very interested in writing about, how this new thing with quote unquote AI, which is not, it's a marketing term, but how it's basically opening the door to ecocide and I want to write about kind of the way that social media still influences our daily style. But I also have 3 other novels that are in the pipeline. So
All right. Well, we will have you back. You are a friend of the show to talk all about those. Folks, we are broadcasting live from Twin Cities Pride, Loring Park. You can stop by, see the tent. You need to follow Patrick, patricknathan.com, Instagram at Patrick__Nathan. After the break, my guest will be Paul Kafer. We'll have a This Great Book Saved My Life segment. See you soon.
thank you.
If you go to shoprainbowrd.com, you will find an amazing variety of adult novelties. Literally thousands of items that you can peruse in the privacy of your home and have shipped to your door. Plus, in the store, you can find swimwear, casual wear, underwear, everywhere. Rainbow Road is located at 109 West Grant Street near Loring Park. Gift cards are available for the hard to shop for. Go to shoprainbowrd.com.
Celebrate Pride Weekend at On the Rocks, steps away from Loring Park above the Nicklet Diner and Roxy's Cabaret. Enjoy skyline views, delicious food, great music, games, prizes, and incredible people in their beautiful cocktail lounge or on their 2-story rooftop patio. Whether you're a part of the LGBTQ plus community or an ally, it's the perfect way to celebrate Pride Weekend. Conveniently located at 1333 Nicklet Mall, go to mplsontherox.com for more information.
Hello, everybody. My name is JP Derabagosian. This is The Gaily Show. And actually, right now, we're going to have a This Great Book Saved My Life segment. For those longtime listeners, you know that every Saturday here on AM 950 at 2 p.m., we have episodes of This Great Book Saved My Life and The Gaily Show. And I am very pleased to be welcoming a former guest of This Great Book Saved My Life and also one of our associate producers on the show, Paul Kafer. Hello, Paul.
Hey, happy Pride.
Happy Pride. Welcome back to the show.
Thanks. It's good to be back.
Absolutely. For folks, you want to join us here in the tent, you can. We're AM 950's tents. You can find us at the Roundabout. We are broadcasting live all afternoon, and we will be at the Loring stage. All of the queer hosts will be on stage there. So please come on down, say hello. Paul, the book that we talked about on your episode, all the way back in season 1, you were one of our season 1 guests, was Quatrefoil. Tell us about Quatrefoil.
Yeah, full title, Quatrefoil, a modern novel.
A modern
interesting novel. Full title. 1950 novel, and the founders of Quatrefoil Library here in Minneapolis believed it to be the first book that portrayed gay men in a positive light, where they weren't, getting a disease or being hate crimed or something like that. So it was a really cool read, really interesting historic novel.
And tell us about the effects that this book had for you, because on the show, This Great Book Saved My Life, we asked guests, what were the life-saving features that these books had for you? And so for you, what did you find that was life-giving in this novel?
Yeah, there's a couple things. On the podcast, I definitely mostly talked about how it was intertwined with me living in Minneapolis and finding Quatrefoil Library and, reading it to understand the namesake and understand what the founders believed and knew. But something that I don't think I said well on the podcast, or at least didn't articulate as well as I wanted to, was I really related to the main character, Philip. And especially his internal conflict and his internal dialogue. And I think that was kind of the first book that I read that was like, oh, okay, what I experience is something other people experience. It's not like I'm just in my head and that's weird. It's normal.
Isn't that wild when we read for the first time, like, oh, we're not the only ones? Because so much of our experience is being alone and isolated.
Yeah.
So when you read those words for the first time, I mean, it's just bonkers.
Right, especially as a queer person.
Yeah.
You think you're alone in other ways.
I know.
Yeah.
And then, so you were on the board of Quatrefoil.
I am still.
Yes.
Last year I was the board president. I've been on the board, I think, about 6 years now.
Wow.
It's a really cool organization. Absolutely.
And Quatrefoil is here at Pride?
Yes. Booths 207 and 207B. So it's right by the Tredder's fabulous History Pavilion.
Oh, is Tredder's here?
Yes.
Oh my God.
They have a beautiful.
I just looked around like, are they right here?
They are in the park with us right now, but
oh my God, I'm gonna have to check that out. Are you doing a book sale? So wait, this year are you doing the book sale here, or are you doing it at the library?
So historically, we would do a huge book sale at Pride. Last year, we slimmed down a lot due to a few reasons, cost, but it's also a lot of labor.
Yeah.
So we did scale up a little bit this year. We have at least one full table of books.
What?
And I, despite being a heavy library user, I did pick up a couple today on my way here. But then I think we're doing another book sale at the library. I just don't remember exactly when. It might be October for LGBTQ History Month.
Oh no, I love that you're having a book sale again.
Yeah.
When I came here to Pride the very first time, my partners Jim and Gordy, it was my first ever Pride. So can you imagine Twin Cities Pride? It's like, woo, it's overwhelming. But they took me all the way around, and they knew my love for books because, like, one of the first things I did was send them 15 boxes of books in the mail. That's why I moved here to Minnesota. And they were like, we're gonna wait for Quatrefoil at the end. And I got there, and it was like 2 tens of books, and I was like, you have got to be kidding me. And so from then on, when we do the walk of Pride, I always wait till the end.
Yeah.
Quatrefoil is my last 10. Also, because I'm like, I'm going to buy a lot of books, and I don't want to have to carry them around.
For sure. Yeah. We love it because that's the history of Quatrefoil. It started just as people donating books. And, over time, like, we now have a nice acquisitions budget, but we didn't always have that budget.
Yes. So I want to talk about those founders, David Irwin and Dick Hewitson.
Yes.
And Nicole Lilla, who is going to be a guest here today.
Yeah.
Nicole, we're missing you. Wish you were here. Nicole is the library manager, correct, at Quatrefoil, and she has a new project which is called Quatrefoil Library as Self-Censorship Resistance, which is a teaching. Is it zine?
Yeah.
Which engages with Quatrefoil, the novel. But the zine is really interesting to me because I didn't realize that for David and Dick, what they were doing originally in their home was like what Nicole calls self-censorship, of hiding the books.
Yes.
Like a friend would come over or a family member would come over, and they would like take the books and hide them in the linen closet.
Yep.
Which I'm like, we've all done that. You know what I mean? Like,
books are the
sneak in
things.
a magazine or sneak in a book, or like, how do you hide it, from the friends,
Right.
or from the other family members. But I did not realize until reading Nicole's zine how much that factored into the creation of the library.
Yes, and the library did come out of the closet, so there's kind of a fun fact there.
we I'm laughing because we literally do this Cripple Save My Life. I record it in my closet because it's got the best audio. In our which were there. So it makes me happy to know that other things, other amazing projects started in our closet.
Yeah.
That's right. Well,
And I'm going to read the recommendation for full scene. It's available on elspot.com.
yes.
And it's a fabulous, not focus. There's something, like you said, self-censorship, and it's got really highlighted things that people have said that they are self-censoring, and I think we're all guilty of doing that ourselves. You go somewhere and you act a little bit differently because you don't want to reveal 100% about who you are.
And we talked about that on your show.
Yeah.
Right?
That does relate to Philip's journey.
Yeah. That idea of, taking back control.
Hey, it's Patrick. The month of July is National Carpet Cleaning Month, and because of that, and because it's the month of the 4th, Zero Res is offering 3 rooms, Zero Resified, starting at just $129, and get a 4th room free. Carpets, tiles, rugs, upholstery, basically every surface in your home can be Zero Resified, so it's time to call the cleaning pros at Zero Res. Might be wrapping up from graduation season or getting ready to host those summer barbecues, to make sure the inside of your house is Zero Res clean. Zero Res is a 4.9 rating with over 18,000 reviews, and the Zero Res 30-day Gotta Love It guarantee makes it easy to get what you pay for. Schedule your appointment today at ZeroResMinnesota.com or call 952-ZERO-RES and ask for the AM 950 special. Again, this month, that's 3 rooms, Zero Resified, starting at just $129, and get a 4th room free. Backward or forward spells the same. Zero Res.
Imagine over 7,000 voices from around the globe coming together in harmony in Minneapolis. This summer, Gaily Choruses Festival 2024 comes to Minnesota. It's the world's largest LGBTQ plus singing event. From July 10th through 14th, Minneapolis will be transformed into a vibrant city of song. Join 122 courses from places as far as China, Estonia, Finland, Ukraine, and Taiwan for 5 unforgettable days of wall-to-wall concerts, workshops, and social events at world-class venues like Orchestra Hall,